Tonight it's a 21-5A matchup between the North Shore Mustangs and the host, Deer Park Deer. And hello everyone, with Joe Price, I'm Brett Dolan. Thanks for tuning in today for high school basketball. And Coach, welcome back to the district.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's been 2 years, but I feel like it was yesterday.
For those who don't know, Joe, of course, a longtime coach at North Shore, so I won't lose you at any point tonight, will you? That urge to get back on the bench?
None at all. None at all.
Well, we've got a matchup tonight, maybe a little dissimilar to what we've had in some of the previous weeks. We've had some top-notch competition. We do have a 1-win district team and a 10-win district team today, but you know, it's senior day here at Deer Park, and they'd love nothing better than to play extremely good basketball against these Mustangs.
Well, you can bet Louis Means coach teams, they're going to play hard, going to coach hard, they're going to fight all the way to the end.
Well, let's talk about North Shore first, because they have a young man who's on his way to Baylor, putting up impressive numbers this year, and I'm anxious to see him play.
Yeah, Jonathan Miley, you know, he's been to North Shore all the way through his 4 years, and he's been on the varsity since he was a sophomore. Going to Baylor University, I know Scott Drew is waiting to hear from him, waiting to see him. He'll probably get up there in the summer. But Motley has grown probably 5 inches since he's been in high school, so I think he's still got some more growing to do.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting as far as what he could do and as far as continuing to grow, and we'll be anxious to see him play for this North Shore Mustangs team that's lost just 4 games this entire season. Now, as far as the Deer are concerned, we mentioned it's been a tough year for them. They had a big senior day contingent out on the court before they started to warm up, and they have a young man in Omar Reyes who leads the scoring but won't start tonight because of senior day.
Well, you know, that's just the way it is. You know, I think every coach in America has a senior night, and they try to start all their seniors on that last game at home. So Omar understands. You
got to deal with a lot of emotion, right, on senior night for these young men?
I'm telling you.
Should be a fun game today. Again, it is North Shore and Deer Park. We'll be back with the starting lineups and tip-off coming up next on the Legacy Sports Network.
When it comes to keeping my car looking good, there's only one place I trust, Bubbles Car Wash. That's because only Bubbles uses landfill mitts with every hand wash, and their detailing crew removes every last bit of dirt. Only the best for my car, that's Bubbles.
We welcome you to North Shore Marine. We support a large parts and accessories for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, and Suzuki. And we also have parts for your boat, not only just the motor. So you can come in and get pretty much everything you need and be on your way. So you name it, we got it. We sell Sea-Arc aluminum boats. A wide variety we try to keep in stock so we can accommodate just about anybody. We service Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, and Suzuki. We have a master technician in our staff, and he's highly accredited. Well, of course, we're a family-oriented business. We try to keep it on that level. We're concerned for the well-being of our customers. Come visit us at North Shore Marine.
Brett Dolan and Joe Price again back here at Deer Park High School. We just had the national anthem. It was sung by David Godek, a 6'1 senior who was part of the Senior Day festivities and got to cap off his last game by singing the national anthem. And you see the color guard also part of the festivities and the pageantry here tonight. Pretty good crowd on hand for this matchup between the 6-26 Deer Park Deer and the 27-4 North Shore Mustangs. Let's take a look at our starting lineups then for tonight's game. We'll start first with the Mustangs and our coach, David Green. Jonathan Motley, the man we talked about in our open, averages nearly 18 points a game. He's joined by Kerwin Roach. Roach, a 6'1 sophomore, averaging 8 points and 2.5 rebounds a contest. Brandon Etienne is a 5'10 junior, averaging 12 points a game, a long-range shooter. Derek Burks, number 34, is a 6'2 sophomore forward, averaging 6.5 a game. Scored 12 points a couple of games back. And then Jalen Hart, a 5'10 junior point guard, averaging just under 8 a game, rounds out the starting five for the North Shore Mustangs. And there you see Jonathan Motley being announced, and we'll have fun watching him perform tonight. Switching gears, we'll check in on the starting lineups for the Deer Park Deer. Again, 6-26 under Louis Means. This is the first time since 2001-2002 that the Deer will not qualify for the postseason. And there's David Godek, who just sang the national anthem. He did an outstanding job, the young man, the 6'1 senior, averaging 4+ points a game. Stephen Scarborough, another senior, a 5'11 senior, averaging a couple of points a contest. And then Chris Holbrook is a 6'2 senior, averaging just under 7 points a game. Chevy Calathar will get the start today as opposed to Omar Reyes. He was voted upon by the seniors to get a chance to start in this his final game. And then Logan White, a 6'3 senior, good shooter from the field. 50% in his field goals will round out the starting five for the Deer Park Deer. Coach, pretty good crowd here tonight. Decent sophomore game beforehand, and
really
anxious to see these two teams finish out the campaign.
Yeah, it really is a nice crowd. I'm really impressed with it. You know, I let you know you probably don't have any fair weather fans over here in Deer Park that die hard, in spite of the fact, you know, they don't have that great of a record, but fans are still backing them.
I know it's been a tough year for Coach Louis Means. He has a couple of kids on his team. One, a young man, Colin, a 5'10 freshman we will see today. His junior, Connor Means, a pretty good quarterback, coming off a knee injury, and while he's healthy, he's not going to come back for this this last game. So we'll watch the younger Means tonight.
Oh yeah, well Connor's, you know, I saw him in this season in football. He did a good job for Deer, and it's unfortunate he had that knee injury, but you know, Coach Means decided not to play him tonight.
Well, there you see the Mustangs clad in red, ready to tip this one off tonight. The Deer Park Deer in their home white. 8 minutes up on the scoreboard clock, and we're ready for first quarter action here tonight from Deer Park High School. Great to have you with us here on Comcast Sportsnet Houston, powered by the Legacy Sports Network. David Godek, he does it all. He sings the national anthem, and he'll also jump it up center, despite the fact he gives up 7 inches against Motley.
Yeah, but I think I know who will win that tip.
We might already switch the arrow to the Deer, because controlling will be the Mustangs and Jalen Hart with the basketball. He will find ATN will be on the arc.
Brandon Etienne, that's how he pronounces it. Etienne.
He is a long-range shooter. And there's Jalen Hart. Hart finds Etienne, and right now the Mustangs running a little bit of time, looking for that first shot here tonight. Etienne averaging 12 points a contest, standing outside right. So the Mustangs very patient. Motley pops up to get the basketball. He'll shoot for the three. And the rebound gathered in by Smith. Right back to Motley. Knocked over the defender and scored the first 2 of the game.
I think Motley might have got away with a charging foul there. Coach Means kind of upset about it.
Coach Means wanted the charge, and then his point guard, Stephen Scarborough, gets called for carrying the basketball, turning it back over to North Shore. North Shore's last game was a 56-38 win against LaPorte, a game that Motley had 16 points. A couple of contests ago, they played Westbrook winning 52-41, a game in which 4 of the 6 players who saw action scored in double figures. Motley goes to work from the baseline. High arcing shot would not drop, and the floor rebound controlled by the Mustangs. And a kick out from Roach, and now the Mustangs will reset. And the jumper off the back of the iron won't go, and an easy catch and follow from Motley. Deer Park coach just doesn't have anybody with the height of Motley to contend with him.
Not at all. In fact, Deer's tallest guy might be 6'3".
Right now, the Deer Park Deer have to get this ball across the timeline. They just do. Godak will break. And there's Holbrook. So now the Deer down 4-0. Chance to get their first 2 points. 2 minutes into this contest tonight from Deer Park High. Deer Park averages 46+ points a game. Shooting the ball's been tough this season. There's Holbrook. His 3 barely grazed the iron, and Motley lets the rebound go to bounce to North Shore.
One of the things you can count on, Deer Park will be real patient on offense. You know, they'll try to take the highest percentage shot they can get.
Let's see what the Mustangs do. I mentioned that Deer Park averages 46 points a game. North Shore averaging just under 60. 27-14, 1 loss in the district. And Motley scored both baskets, but he will toss out to Etienne. So the Mustangs somewhat patient themselves. 3-pointer will not go. Smith the rebound, and he kicks it out to Hart. Down the lane. Did he walk? Yes, he did. A turnover gives it back to Deer Park. As far as this district is concerned, North Shore 10-1, then Westbrook 8-3. Port Arthur Memorial 7-3. Channelview 6-4. Then LaPorte, Sterling, and Deer Park. There's a timeout in the backcourt, just when it looked like Coach Deer Park was in danger of maybe a 10-second violation. Yeah. So it's a quick timeout for Louis Means. Now, as far as the Deer are concerned, their last win was back on January the 25th. It came against Sterling, a 53-43 win. And mentioned right out of the gates, though, Joe, it's the first time since 2001-2002 the Deer Park Deer will not qualify for the postseason. So it's a little different year for them compared to previous campaigns.
Well, I've been there, done that. I know how they feel. You know, just sometimes it just happens, and you just got to play through it and get ready for the next year.
There you see the Mustangs, and I'm sure they're anxious to venture towards the postseason just down the road.
Right, they'll probably have their first playoff game next Tuesday. I think it's going to be either Pasadena Adobe or South Houston. Those teams are tied for 4th place in that district.
After the timeout, the Deer quickly get the ball inbounds, but Motley's in the backcourt, so he provides a different dimension to try and break in this press. There's 3 Mustangs in the backcourt, and there's a pass that goes sailing out of bounds. And, Coach, that's got to be tough for those small point guards to throw over a man who's 6'8" in Motley.
Real tough if you're only 5'8". Real tough.
So the pass goes sailing out of bounds. And the Mustangs back with the ball, leading 4-0. Motley scored both field goals so far, and he'll take it on the low blocks. Going up against White, he'll pass and give to his teammate Aaron Smith, who scores for North Shore. Aaron Smith, the young man, a senior, averaging 4 a game. So now again, the Deer Park Deer in position where they have to try and break the press. They do this time. Doesn't lead to a shot, but they'll just set up the offense. Steven Scarborough runs the point, the 5'11 senior. And looks out for Jimmy Calathor. He's the young man who got a chance to start today. And the shot no good from Holbrook, and the rebound to Motley. Motley averages more than 11 of those a game. 5 substitutions ready to come in for the Deer at the next dead ball, but the shot was reined in by Kerwin Roach. His first 2, it's 8-0 North Shore. So Calathor will break in the front court with a pass to Holbrook. Dangerous pass there to Scarborough, but the Deer maintain, and Holbrook will shoot for a 3. Calathor runs down the rebound on the baseline. More than halfway through our first quarter here tonight from Deer Park. So Holbrook again tries to get the Deer on the board. Another rebound for Motley. So Motley left alone on the baseline for just that split second. He'll spin in against White, but he stepped on the baseline, turning it over to Deer Park. And, Coach, here come the wholesale substitutions for Coach Louis Means.
Yeah, probably all underclassmen, too.
So 5 in, 5 out, a line shift here, and Mustangs also making some changes. We'll have a media timeout. 3:33 to play here at our first. All Mustangs so far. They lead Deer Park 8-0 on the Legacy Sports Network.
If safety is your goal, Fabinco is your gate. Fabinco, the world's leading manufacturer of self-closing safety gates.
Banking, but better. Shell Federal Credit Union. Perfect credit not required. Shell Federal Credit Union. No matter where you work or live in Harris County, you're welcome here with full service banking. More for you at Shell FCU. Banking, but better. Shell Federal Credit Union.
So after the timeout, the Deer with the basketball down 8-0, but a line shift of new players in. We'll break the pressure this time. Omar Reyes, our featured player, checks in. Colin Means, the coach's kid, walked with the ball. He tried to keep that pivot foot down, but could not. Coach says, shoot the ball.
Yeah, you saw that 6'8" hand in his face.
Yeah, Motley has 62 blocks this year, Coach, by far the most on this team, and that's a bucketful for any player in this high school level. Somewhat unselfish. Motley there will walk, so he's turned the ball over a couple of times. That time I thought he kept the foot on the ground, but the official disagreed. Dragging the foot, the official said. We're so close to the action here today, Coach, we can get all the explanations firsthand.
Yeah. I know Coach Green definitely going to want one.
Colin Means doesn't have to be told to shoot there from long range. Shot missed. Back come the Mustangs. There's Jalen Hart. He'll pull the trigger on a three. A rounded out, no good. And the rebound to the Deer, and the ball's out of bounds. It'll be Deer Park basketball. Some more backcourt pressure employed here by the boys in red, the Mustangs. And a blocking foul called against North Shore. I believe that's our first foul here in this game, about 5.5 minutes in. Jay Turnipseed now will control in the top of the key. His pass was nearly thrown away. Kreider got it, then he lost it. Mustangs come back 3-on-1. The numbers are there, and the foul was charged to Turnipseed. He tried to get the block and wasn't able to do so, and that'll be the foul on Deer Park. You'll see it here on our replay, Coach. A little contact.
Yeah.
So Kerwin Roach will go to the line. He is 17 of 19 this year, free throws. Outstanding percentage, but he misses that one. Sophomore scored 11 against Westbrook a couple of games ago. Averages 8 a contest. See if he can split a pair. And he does just that. So 3 points for Roach. It's a 9-0 Mustangs lead. Long baseball pass deflected and stolen. Stolen by Smith. Leads to a break opportunity. And Jalen Hart had the nifty try, but he didn't even draw iron. So back come the Deer. Numbers in favor of Deer Park. And the shot would not drop from Nathan Box. It was one of the better looks so far tonight for Deer Park. Would not fall. Jalen Hart to Motley, and that's an easy 2, and that's 6 points on 3 field goals for the 6'8" senior Jonathan Motley. He's going to be tough to defend all night. Colin Means will try for another 3, and he got knocked down and fouled by Motley. So Means got knocked down. He'll have 3 free throws. Colin Means, a 69% free throw shooter. You'll see this foul here.
Means is just a freshman too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
3 more years.
Misfires on the first to try and put Deer Park on the board with $1:42 to play here in our first. What Coach Means tell us before the game, he has two sons, one that loves basketball and doesn't like football, and the other reverses it.
Right. Well, I know Cody's a pretty good quarterback. Did a good job in District 21-5A this season.
Coach David Green goes to his bench. Dejon Riley, one of those that will check in. Aaron Smith grabs a seat. And Connor Means will make 2 out of 3 free throws and puts the Deer on the board. So an 11-0 run to start this one for North Shore, answered by those 2 free throws. Michael Capers now into the game. The shot comes from the baseline. Etienne with the three-pointer. He's hit 50 of those now this season. So he had 3 the other game against LaPorte. Gets his first tonight. 12-point lead for North Shore, and that's going to be added to rather quickly. A steal and a run out and a basket from Jerry Foster, 6'4" sophomore. So the Deer able to break the pressure, and there's a foul going against the Mustangs. That foul charged to Riley.
I tell you, Brandon Etan and Jalen Hart, they've been playing on the varsity since they were freshmen, so those guards are real experienced. They're juniors now.
It's amazing what that extra year as a freshman will do.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm telling you, Coach Means' son, you know, you'll hear from him before it's all said and done.
He's provided the 2 points for Deer Park. It's a 16-2 game. Means passed up the 3. Instead he throws one out to Turnipseed, but he could not get the ball shot off. So Motley's loose in the open court. He was bumped and fouled as he went up with that shot attempt. He might have been rising to try and slam one home, but Daniel Greider got him. Motley will go to the stripe. Big man in the open court.
Yeah, he is. You know, this will be one of those type of games where I think Coach Green will probably try to get a good lead, you know, after about two or three quarters, then rest his starters. Hopefully not get anybody hurt before the playoffs start.
It's always a consideration for any coach, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Motley knocks them both in. A 58% free throw shooter, now has 8 points in this game. So it's a 16-point lead for the Mustangs. They've had their way here in the first, looking to win their 28th game of the season. Omar Reyes can't get the shot off. Turnipseed will go into the paint, had one blocked. So Foster comes out of the pile with it. Ahead to Capers, and then he loses the ball. Stolen by Means, and a foul by the Mustangs in the backcourt with 5 seconds to play here in the quarter. And Capers earns the foul. Here you see Capers just a little bit out of control. Means was able to step in front and steal the ball, and then a tackle of sorts right there. So the Deer have 5 seconds to pull the trigger, get a shot off. Turnipseed pulled up the dribble. And there's a fling from Reyes that's nowhere near the mark, and we have played 1 quarter tonight from Deer Park. It's all Mustangs. They lead 18-2 on the Legacy Sports Network. Mustangs lead by 16 before the game. We talked about it being senior day. Coach Means took out a young man by the name of Brendan West. He was in a wheelchair, no arms, took one up to the free throw line, put the basketball in his bare feet, shot the first one, it rimmed out, shot the next one, rimmed out. The third one, he drained it, and Coach Means called him an inspiration. That was a fun scene before the game.
Oh, 1 for 3, that ain't a bad percentage.
Now, Coach Means told us he was called out during a period today at school, and his team told him to shoot a shot, and they wanted him to go to half court instead of the free throw line. So he gets back there, and the first shot, swish.
Yeah.
Your kids ever ask you to do something like that?
Never.
It's nice when you can back it up. There's a 3-ball that wouldn't drop from Scarborough, and the Mustangs leading by 16 have it. So Jalen Hart controls the 5'10 junior, averaging 8 points a game. So for the time being, Jonathan Motley not in there. Scored 8 of the 18 for the Mustangs.
Jonathan will get a lot of rest tonight.
He might. Jalen Hart sizes up a long-range jumper, and then it looked like Jajon Riley went right over the back and committed a foul. So the Deer have been faced with this backcourt pressure throughout. There's a dangerous pass that'll land, Coach, right in your lap. Yeah. It looks like the Deer are trying to break this pressure with high passes. Is there a better way? Bounce back? Is there something they could do to crack this pressure?
Well, the best way really to break a press is by passing it and not really trying to put it on the floor. But a lot of times you have to fake a pass before you make a pass. You know, to kind of get the defense to shift a little bit, and then maybe somebody get open that way.
Get somebody up in the air.
Right.
And the 3-try from Capers was wide of the mark, and the putback went up and in. Umeke Egbule with the basket. There's an open look. Holbrook had a wide open 3. White competing for the rebound, got it back, could not bank one in. The ball's out of bounds. It'll be Mustangs ball. An 18-point North Shore lead, and they had a couple of point-blank looks, Coach. They couldn't get one to drop.
They did. They're having a terrible shooting night so far. I don't think the Deer has made a field goal yet.
No, they've not. A couple of free throws from Means, and that's it. About 10 minutes of game time into this contest. So Jalen Hart on the top of the key off a high screen. The give and go. Egbule. He'll kick one right back out for Michael Capers. Capers does not score, controlling on the top of the key. So the Mustangs now being patient. Without Motley in the game, takes in a little different dimension offensively. Riley on a kick out to Hart. Boy, that ball barely grazed the iron. Riley tried to save, but he was on the end line, and Deer Park will control. Steven Scarborough in the backcourt. So this time the Deer able to break. Godek was in stride as he crossed it in the offensive end. Now Scarborough will call out a play. Godek goes baseline and then commits the offensive foul. The path was cut off. Looks like it was Jerry Foster who was able to take that charge. So the Mustangs leading by 18, and they'll have the basketball. As far as the Mustangs are concerned, see if they get into this offensive end quickly. They will. And the shot misfires from Egbule. And there's a foul committed by the Deer. They have just four losses, Joe, and they lost a couple of games back in November, Nimitz and Madison. Since then, they dropped a game between the holidays, the Atascocita, and then Port Arthur Memorial. That's it. Those are the only losses for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it's a similar record as they had last year. I think they finished the season last year 32-4. So they don't strive to be about the same this year.
Easy look for Riley, but the basket was waved off. Foul on the Mustangs instead. We'll see the replay. There was the bump or the charge. And no basket, and the Deer Park Deer will get it back.
It's amazing what the replay will show.
All 10 players in the backcourt. Now they'll move forward as the Deer will practice pressure. So the Deer still looking for that first field goal. There's Godek on the top of the key. He left alone for a 3-ball. Egbule the rebound, the 6'2 sophomore. So the line shift will continue at the next dead ball. Egbule with the spin. Did he walk? Yep. Turnover to Deer Park. So here they come, all 5 substitutes in for the Deer. Someone's got to keep track of this. You have an assistant that'll keep track of the playing time or who's in the game and who's out?
Not really. You know, we just try to reward guys that are doing well, and you know, if they look like they're going hard and tired, we rest them up a little bit. But
Deer have to get it across. Grider finally will. Pass comes forward to Nathan Box. An entry for Grider, but he will kick out for Means, and the shot was blocked away and collected by Dejon Riley. So hard in transition, weaving his way through traffic. Mustangs had some open looks, but continue to pass around, try and find a better shot. Capers will launch a long one. And Omar Reyes the rebound. Reyes averages about 4 rebounds a game and grabs one there, the young sophomore.
that's a deep 3.
Boy, indeed it was. Tyler Mathis. A long rebound, though, and it leads to a kick out and then a North Shore foul. And looks like Deer Park in the bonus. So Motley ready to check back in for the Mustangs with 3 teammates as well. See if we're going to have a media timeout. I believe we will. Halfway through our second quarter, 20-2, North Shore, the lead on the Legacy Sports Network.
We welcome you to North Shore Marine. We support a large parts and accessories for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, and Suzuki. And we also have parts for your boat, not only just the motor. So you can come in and get pretty much everything you need and be on your way. So you name it, we got it. We sell Sea Arc aluminum boats, a wide variety we try to keep in stock so we can accommodate just about anybody. We service Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, and Suzuki. We have a master technician in our staff, and he's highly accredited. Well, of course, we're a family-oriented business. We try to keep it on that level. We're concerned for the well-being of our customers. Come visit us at North Shore Marine.
Free throw time here at Deer Park. 7 team fouls so far for the Mustangs, 4 for the Deer, and it leads to a 1 in the bonus opportunity from Means. He missed that free throw, and Motley able to save, and the Mustangs will have it. Still looking for that first field goal. ATN back in the game as well, along with Motley. So Coach Green had a chance to play some of his bench players first and second quarter. Motley wanted the ball in the paint. He was open, Coach. They didn't see him, and then there's a 3-second violation, and that's because he had the position.
Yeah.
Some of the North Shore fans behind us screaming, "You got to get out of there!" And he's saying, "Well, you got to give me the ball." That's an easy score if they can get it in. At least a good look at a shot, put it that way. It's 18-2 after 1 quarter, so just 2 points this entire second quarter in almost 5 minutes. So now going on 5.5 minutes. I don't know if I've seen many games where neither team's really scoring that long.
That's true. Not even a field goal in 14 minutes.
See if the Deer can convert this time down. Tyler Mathis will give to Reyes. They need to get him going, and there's a silly foul by Motley. For Jonathan, that'll be his second foul. So it will send Omar Reyes to the line. Here you'll see the replay on the bump or the foul right there at the baseline.
Yeah, he got him.
He did. Reyes, an outstanding free throw shooter, 68 of 81. That is 84%, but he can't get that to go. Motley, though, had it knocked away. I thought he lost it out of bounds. It leads to a shot on the other end as Coach Means was trying to get an explanation from our official. Foul was charged to Nathan Box. So it leads to some free throws for the Mustangs. Lou Roy, 5'10" junior. Shot just 14 free throws this entire season, so he'll have a chance to get a couple of points from the stripe. Well, Coach, free throws have been tough tonight.
They have been.
As a team, the Mustangs shoot 61% free throws. The Deer are much better. They're at 68, but the Deer have had chances.
But the Deer is probably about 50% tonight, and North Shore is probably about less than that.
So there's a free throw make. Lou Roy able to get a point, bettering his season average there with that free throw. So the Deer break, but it doesn't lead to an open shot as we near the 2-minute mark here in our second quarter. Mathis looked like he had the shot, but didn't want to go over the big man, and Reyes will pop for a three-point try instead, and there is a whistle, and it should be a jump ball, but I think we're going to have a foul instead. It's like a foul on the Mustangs, and it's going to lead to more free throws. Foul is on Aaron Smith. So Daniel Grider now will go to the free throw line, and boy, it continued to be a tough go. Aaron Smith had the rebound. Baseline shot is drilled by the Mustangs. Shot was made by Roach. Here comes Reyes, but his path was cut off. Pretty good defense right there by Lou Roy. Minute and a half to play in a fast-paced first half. Just not a lot of points. And boy, it looked like the Deer had their best shot for their first field goal. Grider, the miss, but another foul. And it's on Grider who had the miss. And you see that, don't you, Coach? You missed that easy shot, and you want to get that rebound back so bad that you commit the foul.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been a while since Motley's touched it. He'll pass out of that double team out to Lou Roy.
You can bet every time Motley touches it, you're going to have about 2 or 3 guys around him.
Boy, he was almost being held, but he just laid it over the top of the rim. As 10 points does Motley. It's not an easy game, but at times he can make it look easy. Means got up in the air and then had a turnover, and Roy and the Mustangs will run. Motley wanted a slam, but getting back to break it up was Daniel Grider. And you can see Motley right there. He said, throw it up. Throw it up. Give me the alley-oop. Grider can't go up and get it. Only I could go up and get it from that spot, and I don't blame him. Motley will pull the trigger from the baseline. He'll get the ball back, double team, but he'll pass out of that double team. Shots missed. Motley's somewhat unselfish, Coach. There's times even when he's double teamed, he towers over that two-timing effort. He could probably go up and try and score.
I tell you, he's the biggest thing out there.
On his way to Baylor. Ball was deflected and knocked out of bounds by Roach. So to maintain Deer Park possession. Still looking for that first field goal here in the first half.
There was no hesitation about Motley going to Baylor. Right away he committed to him. Just without hesitation. I think he was being recruited all over the country.
I bet he was. The North Shore ball. Some kids, I'm sure, just like to get that decision out of the way.
Yeah, so they can concentrate on just playing basketball.
I'm with you. You pointed out earlier, a young man who's grown 5 inches here in his high school days. Might be able to continue to grow. Is that a push-off on Motley?
I think it was offensive.
Yeah, that's his 3rd foul. So 10 points, but 3 fouls. He'll come out with 27 seconds to play in the half, replaced by Jerry Foster. There's a pass intercepted. Looks like it's off North Shore. A player hit the deck. No foul was called. Looked like it was Roach who had the interception, but lost the ball out of bounds, and the Deer Park Deer will have it back with 18 seconds to play, and you'll get a pretty good look here at a replay. Inside, 10 seconds to go in the half. Omar Reyes shuffled the pivot feet. And that's a turnover to North Shore with 6.5 to go in the half. Seconds, that is.
I don't think I've ever seen a game like this where a team didn't score a field goal in the half. Well, I had one about 6 years ago.
In your favor?
Yeah, but the other team was just intensely holding the ball.
And an NBA three-try would not drop from Lou Roy, and it brings us to the half. So a strange half indeed for the Deer Park Deer. It all belong to the Mustangs. As you see the boys in red walk off, they lead at 25-2 at the break. High school basketball on Comcast Sportsnet Houston, powered by the Legacy Sports Network.
What if your bank actually paid you for using your debit card? Let's say 10 cents for every $10 or more debit card purchase. How amazing would that be? We call it Cashback Counts Checking from Community Bank. A free debit card that pays you to use it. Even he's smiling at that. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
Dolan and Joe Price back here at Deer Park, a 25-2 lead at the half for the Mustangs. And Joe, it's tough for Coach Means. You got to find something to go out there and work on at the half, but those first two quarters just did not go in their favor.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was the worst of times, so hopefully this second half will be the best of times, because it was pretty bad. I don't really think the Deer scored a field goal that half. That's probably the first time in the history of the Deer not scoring a field goal in a half.
And Colin Means, the freshman, had a couple of free throws, made 2 out of 3, and that provided them the points. Meanwhile, Jonathan Motley had 10 points, 3 fouls, leading the way for the Mustangs. They had 7 players in all dent the scorebook, and they'll start with the ball first.
We're going back with a starting lineup, so these guys will probably play about a quarter, and then he'll probably finish it out with other guys from the bench.
Mustangs attack the basket right out of the gates. Motley again will pass out to Jalen Hart. 3 balls have not been falling, though, for the Mustangs here in this one. They'll hoist up another, and as I say that ball's in, but it's a 2-pointer from Etienne. So he had the 3 earlier. He has 5 points now in the game. Average is just about 12 a contest. And the Deer, just like that, get their first field goal from Chris Holbrook. They needed a different basket, Joe.
Yeah.
So Chris Holbrook, the senior, averaging 6.8 a contest, provides the field goal. White was fighting for that rebound against Motley, and the ball came out of there to Thor. No control, comes to the timeline, throws one into the corner for Holbrook, who just hit the basket. He'll try for a 3 and drain it. So 5 points for Chris Holbrook in less than a minute. And Coach David Green wants a timeout. So Joe, I was just talking to you about Coach Means and what he had to do at the half, and David Green, even though his team was leading by a big margin by 23 points, he doesn't like what he's seeing maybe out of the effort here in the third quarter.
Well, like we said before, for Coach Means, it was the worst of times. Now it's beginning to be the best of times. So hopefully they'll get it going this half and we'll have a ball game.
So a quick timeout. There you see Coach Means talking with his Deer. And there's the Mustangs trying to win their 28th game.
You know, it's something about a certain end. They probably practice a lot on that end during the year.
Certainly were a couple of baskets after they couldn't buy one in the first half. So now we'll see what the Mustangs do after their timeout. Motley down the lane, but a good pass. Nice find of Aaron Smith for the easy basket. I've been impressed with the way he's passed the ball, Motley.
Yeah, he does a good job of it. You know, when you're 6'8", you can see over everybody.
Does help. Thor got up into the air. Leads to another 3 try. Holbrook hit the deck after the miss. And the Mustangs with the ball will try and run. And a quick give and a score for Kerwin Roach, and he has 7 points. So the Mustangs seem to have a different tempo right now, Joe. 31-7 lead, and the shot for Holbrook was blocked away, and now the Mustangs back. Numbers aren't there, but they'll push. Leads to an open 3 try from Hart, and Jalen Hart with his first 3 tonight. He's hit 17 3-pointers this season. Holbrook not bashful, pulls the trigger again. Hart the rebound, went quickly behind the back, nifty move. And there's Motley, hit hard. We could hear the foul. We couldn't see it with the official and Coach Green in front of us. We could hear it though from our vantage point.
Let's see if we can see it here on the replay.
He was opening.
Yeah, he was definitely fouled.
Logan White tried to spoil the party. Motley's made both free throws so far tonight. He's made all 3, so 11 points for the 6'8 senior. He's right around a 60% free throw shooter for the season. He's got that routine, takes that ball right behind his back. A little spin. Pretty good touch from the big man, but he didn't get it to drop. And Logan White the rebound. A little more pressure as the Deer will break with a long, soft pass to White, and then he quickly throws one into the hands of Kerwin Roach. Here come the Mustangs. Mustangs led 18-2 after 1 quarter. They led 25-2 at the break. Motley again will pass that to the double team to Hart. Just hit a 3, hits another. Back-to-back triples for Jalen Hart. Boy, the Mustangs putting some points up quickly now here in this 3rd quarter after that sluggish start in the 1st minute. Aaron White with a baseline 3 ball. Boy, Motley tipped the rebound to himself. Motley wants it back. A little bit of a flop there, and he'll just stop and miss. Gets the ball back again. Passes out to Etienne. He'll hit a 3. What was I saying about the Mustangs not hitting 3s? Now they're hitting nothing but 3s. That's 51 for him.
That timeout helped a little bit.
More urgency and conviction with their methods. And there's another turnover. Etienne will give to Aaron Smith, and an easy basket. 6 points for Aaron Smith. So Coach Green now will back the pressure off. 43-7 Mustangs with the advantage.
It seemed like after that timeout, North Shore went into another gear.
Well, they found one. There was the drive from Scarborough, but the ball was knocked away, and here's the line shift. You see the 5 players in white all coming on and the 5 departing for the Deer. Looks like the Mustangs will go man. Connor Means looking for the 3. Instead, the Deer might lose the ball. Means can't save. Out of bounds, North Shore basketball. 4:14 to play.
I think it was tipped out on North Shore.
Lady behind me disagrees, but nonetheless, it'll be a Deer Park basketball. Turnip seed with those pink socks. That is pass intercepted. Now Jalen Hart came into this game with 69 steals. He's added to that with a few, including one right there. So over 70 on the season in steals. That's a big number. And there's a turnover by Etienne. And Coach, what were you saying last week? When the point guard gets up in the air and goes to pass, usually good things don't happen?
Yeah, most of the time. Out of control.
Case in point right there. Media timeout halfway through our 3rd quarter. All Mustangs, they lead 43-7 on the Legacy Sports Network.
Won't you be good to yourself? And don't you feel like coming home? It'll be like coming home.
Some rooms feel like a fishbowl. But in our Roomy Suites, you can spread out and live a little. With breakfast, dinner, and drinks included, you'll feel right at home.
here at Deer Park, 43-7. The Mustangs with the lead. Right in front of us here on the court, Coach, it says Billy Carlisle Court, do the right thing in quotation marks. He was the man you went up against. In fact, it was a game against North Shore that after the game in which he passed away a few years back.
Yeah, it's true. You know, Carlisle was a friend of mine, and you know, he was a great coach. He played high school ball at Clear Creek High School and played college ball at Baylor University, and did a good job here at Deer Park.
You have to remember that night, I would imagine, getting that phone call.
Got the phone call. It was, you know, it was really, I mean, just tragic. You know, it was my 400th win that night, and you know, it's a day you'll never forget.
Motley had the steal, and he was pushed right here in front of the Billy Carlisle moniker on the floor, and that would have been a night you would have remembered, I'm sure, with the 400th win, but one that took a different turn after that news.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It's been all Mustangs here in this one. Motley shuffled the feed. He went home and rammed it through, but after the turnover, he might have been excited to get that clear path to the basket. Young man seems to have a pretty easygoing disposition to him.
Yeah, he's an easygoing type guy. You know, real intelligent guy. He takes honors classes, does well in them. You know, I think he got accepted right away at Baylor University.
Turnip seed passes to Means. He wanted to pull the trigger. He'll let one fly. Motley up high for the rebound. Now, Motley had a game not that long ago against Sterling, which he had 32 points, 10 rebounds. 3 ball from Etienne. He was knocked down. And yet the foul was charged to Grider. See Grider come out and
Looks like he might have bumped him just a little bit.
a little bump. Junior guard, a 58% free throw shooter. Touched about every portion of the rim, but could not get his 9th point. Brandon had a 10-assist game this last time out. 13 points, 10 assists, kind of spreading the wealth, now trying to get some himself, and it's 9 points.
Brandon's come a long way since his freshman year. He's been starting on the varsity since a freshman. You know, he's a junior, and you know, he played some of the 2 guard position and played some of the 1. So I think on the next level he'll definitely have to play the 1.
Turnover right back to North Shore.
But he had a great, Brandon Etienne had a great career in middle school. I mean, it was just phenomenal how he just destroyed people in middle school.
His reputation preceded him then coming into that varsity level as a freshman.
Oh yeah, well he and Jalen Hart, you know, they both played as freshmen on the varsity. Did a good job.
You see Etienne right there, junior guard. Of course, Motley, a senior, will depart next year, and they'll miss him, but they'll have some veteran leadership at the guard positions. Tyler Means had his path cut off. And the southpaw box won't get that ball to drop. Hart had the rebound. And the lead out, and the pass leads to an easy 2 for Aaron Smith. He has 3 field goals here in the second half. And 8 points in the game. He averages just 4 a contest, so he's double that. There's a steal by Motley. Motley's going to run the break. Shoveled one off to Hart. And the 3 balls right down the middle. Jalen Hart has 3 threes and 9 points in the game. 3s have added to the scoring in a hurry here in the 3rd quarter. Ball was swatted away there, and there's a whistle. Foul was charged to North Shore's Aaron Smith, not Motley. Been able to play this 3rd quarter without his 4th foul. Where the Mustangs themselves will have 5 substitutes ready to come on for the final 2 minutes here of our 3rd quarter at the Dead Bull.
I believe that might be it for the starters tonight.
So Turnip Seed misses the free throw, and here comes the line change for North Shore. It reminds me of my 11-year-old's game. There's 10 players on the team. 5 play the first 4 minutes, and then they switch, and the next 5 come in after that.
Well, that's good. They all get a chance to play. That's what you want in a parent.
Neither free throw would drop for Turnip Seed, so it's a 50-7 North Shore lead. So a lot of the bench players may get some playing time here down the stretch. Egbule had the ball on the baseline, but lost it. Go ahead and flings one towards the basket, at least in that direction. The ball's out of bounds. It was going to be Deer Park basketball, but Grider, in trying to save, stepped on the baseline. So a $1:39 to play here in our third. Joe, this isn't much fun for the winning coach either, is it, a game like this?
It is. You can be relaxed and just try to get it over with without getting anybody hurt and get ready for the playoffs.
You're always sensitive to that margin of victory, though, I'm sure, at times. And, you don't want to harness these kids that are going to come off the bench for their playing time either.
Yeah, that's true.
Interception. Dejan Riley was unable to control and Means bumped him. Riley saw a lot of open court ahead of him, but just could not get the handle on the basketball. And Colin Means earned the foul.
I tell you, I was one of those type of coaches in these type of games. I wanted to make sure I didn't get anybody hurt. If somebody got hurt, I felt like it was my fault because I played them too long.
It has to enter your mind. It just can't,
yeah.
I'm sure. Capers had the pass, take it away. So had a lot of turnovers in this game. Grider had it, and there's a timeout, an official's timeout. One of the Deer Park players down, but he gets up, and it's Jay Turnipseed. He says he's okay. He's going to stay in. At the half, it was 25-2. So the Mustangs scored 25 points in the first half. They've scored 25 points here in the third quarter.
Kind of picked it up a little bit here in the third quarter.
You aren't kidding. Means with an open seam, a finger roll, and a field goal. 4 points for Colin Means. Holbrook leads the Deer with 5 points. In fact, those are the two guys that have scored for the Deer, providing their 9. Long, soft skip pass doesn't lead to a shot, so the Mustangs will be content to run a little more clock. 26 seconds to go here in the third. Egbule went up with the ball, lost it. It was off the hands of Nathan Box. It'll remain North Shore basketball. 21 seconds to play in the quarter. Lou Roy controlled. It leads to a look from Capers, and Michael Capers drills the three-point basket. 6'1" junior, averages just under 6 a game, gets his first 3 in one shot. So it's a 28-point quarter for the Mustangs, and the shot will hang and drop. A nice look from Jay Turnipseed, the senior, with his first basket.
I think he might have got away with a walk that time.
You might be right. But a 28-point quarter for the Mustangs. They extend the lead after 3. 53-11 North Shore. Well, there's the basket at the end of the third quarter. A couple of steps in there, but it counts. And Coach, you were just telling me at the break that you had a former player sign a $48 million contract. I'm thinking basketball player, and then I'm like, well, it's got to be Michael Bourne, right? Cleveland Indians?
Michael Bourne, he played for me at Aldine Nimitz. He did a good job for me in basketball.
He's a competitor, right?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Mustangs on the move. Boy, that was a nifty finish on a finger roll from Dejan Riley. Now, I remember Michael from his days with the Astros. He was quite the storyteller basketball-wise, as Reyes will launch a 3 and the floor rebound came down to the Mustangs. He felt like Elvin Hayes shows up at the Minute Maid Park one day, and he wants to play him right there. And I said, listen, Michael, I know he's 30 years older than you. but you know, you're 5'10". But it showed his competitiveness.
Right.
Boy, that shot was banked in. Are you kidding me?
They just having fun right now. I think they got Coach Green smiling over here.
Lou Roy banked one in. Of course, Michael's friend Carl Crawford got a big contract not long before that, so there's a couple of good buddies here in the Houston ranks that came from little but have plenty now with their efforts.
I'm going to tell you a story about that here in a little bit.
Tyler Mathis dumps one in. We have a 30-second timeout. Why not right here? Tell me.
I guess it had to be about 20 years ago. You know, I used to do Little League Baseball umpiring. Michael Bourne, Carl Crawford on the same team. They were about 10 years old. And I want to tell you, a single was a double was a triple, and a triple was the inside the park home run for those guys. And you know, Michael Bourne's daddy was the Little League coach.
Raymond, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. But I tell you what, I mean, I used to love umpiring those guys' games because it was going to be like a track meet.
Jason Bourgeois was a player they picked up who's had a nice little major league career himself, was another guy on that team. And Michael tells a great story when his father Raymond went down to get Carl Crawford. He said, "This guy can't play. What are you putting him on our team?" Well, they found out he could play.
Yeah.
Just like the Mustangs tonight, they lead 58-13. Lou Roy banked in a three the previous time. He didn't get the benefit of the doubt right there with the glass, and Goulet runs down the rebound on the baseline. Path was cut off briefly, and I think Means bumped him and fouled him. 6.5 to play in this game before the Mustangs go to 28-4 and the Deer finish out their campaign. Leads to an easy look. Egbule got the rebound. He got the contact, didn't get the basket. He'll have a pair from the line. Ameke Egbule, 6'2" sophomore. Probably looking at a lot more playing time next year without Jonathan Motley there in the middle.
Like Capers put his own inbounds play in that time. He just bounced it off the guy's back because he was turned. Coach Green called him over and said, "What are you doing?"
He's giving the explanation as we listen. "I've never done it before," is what he said, but maybe he won't do it again. You never know.
Yeah.
So the Mustangs trying to reach 60 points. They average 59.9 a game. Well, they have 60, so they've reached their average with 6:25 to play. So now the Deer look for some answers. Omar Reyes averaging 9.5 a game, has not scored today, and he had the ball knocked out of bounds. He had one free throw earlier. Now Reyes didn't start, usually starts, but Jimmy Calathor, the senior, was voted by his teammates to get the chance to do so today. And but Coach, senior night was a lengthy one. There were quite a few seniors for the Deer.
Quite a few. They had about 7 or 8 of them.
And the southpaw, Mathis, who's had a field goal today, couldn't get that one to drop. Capers picked up the basketball, and Foster comes back to get him. Somebody's got to be open as the Deer push that defense out beyond the mark. Lou Roy goes with the left hand. Egbule, the follow, and that's 6 points for the sophomore.
Coach Green has quite a few sophomores on the varsity. I can see getting them ready.
The ball was blocked from behind. Greider had a shot swatted away. Here's Dejon Riley setting himself up for the slam and the finish.
Showtime.
Yes, it was. There was another shot blocked. Boy, the Mustangs have been able to get a few of those here in the second half. And a whistle and a turnover going against North Shore. Jerry Foster. Just north of 5 minutes to play in this one. The Deer did not have a field goal in the first half. Offensive foul on Calathor. Their lead now 51 points. Coach Means not real happy with that one. And he wants a timeout, maybe if nothing else to.
He's trying to question that call, but I think the guy lowered his shoulder.
So 4:57 to play. And Coach, what do you think North Shore's opportunities are now to advance in the playoffs?
Well, they'll see South Houston or Adobe first round. Probably see somebody out of Clear Creek ISD in the second round. That third round matchup is going to be probably the most important. They'll probably run into Bush. After talking with Coach Green, he seems to think they match up better against Bush than they do against Travis. Last year they met Travis in the third round, and you know the Twins just went to work on them. But if they make it to the third round and Bush makes it to the third round this year, that's who they'll hook up with. And you know, that'd be the regional quarterfinal game to try to get to the regional tournament. So personally, I think 5A is pretty much wide open. Bush has beaten Travis 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
You know, so that lets you know Travis is beatable. Everybody thought Travis was the team to beat this year, but I think you got about 3 or 4 5A teams that got a chance to get to Austin if they just get hot at the right time.
It'll be a fun playoff season, though.
Should be.
Now, those Harrison twins, they've gone to work on a few other teams before in their days, too.
They are, most definitely.
They'll be on their way to Kentucky. They were on the Legacy Sports Network earlier this year. Grider the steal, gives to Reyes. He had his shot blocked for the foul.
I tell you what, you know, we saw a pretty good Pearland team last week with Cameron Reynolds, and they got a chance too.
It's a big weekend for the Tulane coach. We saw him and Coach Dickey, Coach Conroy and Coach Dickey, both there at that game, Manville, Pearland last week, and of course they met the next day, and Houston had a 19-point lead. Tulane won the game. Cameron Reynolds was in attendance to see his future team as Reyes makes the free throw and gets his first point. But it's a big weekend when you can come to town, get a win, and see your recruit.
Yeah, that's true. I tell you, I guess I'm just kind of biased. I wish recruits like that would, like he and Motley, would stay around in the Houston area, get U of H back to the glory days.
We have a walk, yes we did, on Riley. You're right, there's so many talented Division I players in this area. I know every other team and every other school wants to come here and they want to get theirs, but it makes it even more important for Houston and Rice or some of the other schools to try and keep those kids.
That's true.
You think that Big East Conference will make things more attractive for the University of Houston, the competition they'll be playing against?
I think it will because, you know, I'm going to look at it from a football standpoint. The Southeast Conference definitely has made Texas A&M more attractive. They had a good recruiting year. I think they were in the top 10 in the nation in recruiting.
Great point.
And I think just what they did in the Southeast Conference this year probably helped their recruiting out tremendously.
It seems like kids, to be the best, they want to play the best. And for football, the SEC is the best. And obviously, basketball-wise, the Big East, no matter how it shakes out, will still be better than Conference USA.
Well, I don't think the Big East is going to have all the teams that it had in it, but you know, it just the name Big East makes you pay attention.
Yes, it does. Turnip seed 1 of 2, 3 points for that young man. It's a 64-16 game. So Motley's been on the bench most of this second half. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Deer Park basketball with 4+ minutes to go in this one. We had a couple of entertaining games the last 2 weeks. Games that have gone down to the last, say, 5-10 seconds. And, this one, well, it was pretty much over by the half. There's a jump ball called. The arrow, I think, was it in favor of, we have a foul first?
Oh, we had jump ball.
Jump ball. It's in North Shore possession, but it was 25-2 at the half. The Deer did not have a field goal in the first half. And then even though the Deer got a few to follow in that third quarter, the Mustangs put 28 on the board in that third stanza. Boulay controlling, and he's being harassed by Scarborough. Down the lane with 2 big steps and 1 too many for Lou Roy. We've got a media timeout. 3:43 to play from Deer Park. Final regular season game of the year. North Shore, Hall Mustangs. They lead 64-16 on the Legacy Sports Network. Brett Dolan, Joe Price back here at Deer Park. See the Mustangs with that big lead, 64-16 for the final 3:40 in this game. Scarborough had his pass knocked away. Goulet got up to hit it in the other direction. He's getting a little bit sloppy as turnovers go back and forth now. Holbrook had a couple of quick field goals in the third. That time he misfired. And the rebound to Lou Roy. Roy on the baseline, he banked one in from that area earlier. This time does not. The ball is out of bounds. It'll remain Mustangs' possession. So Michael Capers will inbound baseline left. Bounces one into Lou Roy. Now the Mustangs will set up. Good baseline look to Riley. Leads to an easy basket. That's 6 points on 3 field goals for Riley here in the second half. Stephen Scarborough trying to do too much dribbling, and the ball was knocked away, but not before a foul was charged to Capers of the Mustangs. And that's team foul number 5 on the Mustangs. Deer have committed 7. Not many open looks, though, for the Deer tonight, Coach.
Not too many. They've turned it over quite a bit, but you know, it's been a hand in their face when they try to outside shot.
A lot of balls knocked away, a lot of passes swatted away, plenty of blocks, too. Hard to get those open shots. Just as I say that, there is one, but it comes from long range from the hands of Scarborough, and the rebound out to Goulet, who's been an active player here in the second half. Capers. In and out, no, and the floor rebound to Scarborough. So we near the 2-minute mark of our contest tonight here from Deer Park. I'd like to thank Coach Louis Means for his hospitality tonight. Great hospitality in Manville last weekend. There's a foul on Jalen Hart. No, I beg your pardon. That's a foul on Holbrook, offensive foul.
Yeah, offensive foul. I think he pushed off.
Mustangs in no hurry to get into their offense here. Leads to a 3-ball from Foster, and he'll bury it. His 8th this season. He has 5 points in the game tonight. There's another sophomore, Joe.
Yeah, quite a few sophomores making plays tonight.
Turnipseed has 3 points, but he passes out and looks to Holbrook. And the rebound to Roy, and then foul committed by the Deer.
I think that's 1-and-1 free throws.
So Godek with the foul. I believe we'll talk to him after the game. I think we're in line to talk with a player from each team post-game before Joe and I put the wrap on the basketball campaign here on the Legacy Sports Network. Baseball around the corner, and it'll be football season before you know it.
You know, I said earlier that I think Coach Green feel like he matches up a lot better with Bush than he do with Travis, but as an old saying, better watch what you ask for, you might get it.
It's amazing how you identify Bush, though, in the bracket when you would have to meet them, if things would break out.
Yep.
Lou Roy makes both free throws, 6 points for the young man who was averaging less than a point a game, so he's had a big night. Puts the Mustangs over 71 points in this one. David Godek, I thought he was going to pull the trigger and try and get a shot off. He did not. Floater comes from the baseline instead. It was missed by Turnipseed. So we near the 1-minute mark. Goulet with a turnaround jumper and a sweet touch. 8 points for the sophomore. Scarborough on the give and go with White. Got too far under. Couldn't get it to drop. Dejan Riley up high with a rebound. Here comes Roy on the move. Capers thought about the 3 and didn't pull the trigger. 45 seconds to play. three ball off the hands of Foster. Rebound to Godek. So a final chance for the Deer. They'll get some free throws here. Looks like Turnip Seed will head to the line.
They're still not in 1-1.
You're right, just 16 fouls, so they'll have to inbound from the timeline, and there's Holbrook. He'll come over and pull the trigger, number 11, the 6'2 senior. Pass into White. Godek wanted to get that shot off. Instead, it'll belong to Holbrook, and he'll bury it. 7 points for Chris Holbrook. North Shore will probably just pass the ball around and not take a shot. Michael Capers heard that as he was getting ready to go to the basket. What do you mean, no shot? So they'll run some clock here and run things out. Pretty good dribbling routine by Capers. Oh, he's fouled with 3 seconds to go.
I think Capers wanted to hold on to that one so he can get a chance to go to the free throw line.
He gets his wish.
Yeah, Coach, we're in the double bonus.
Michael Capers hit a three-pointer earlier. 88% free throw shooter. We have 3 seconds to play in this game. Capers does not get his wish. We'll get one more try, though. Put a wrap on the basketball regular season and look forward to the playoffs coming up around the bend. Free throw, no good. One final shot, and it will not go off the hands of Turnip Seed, and that will do it. We'll come back with our players of the game. It belongs to North Shore tonight, a 73-18 win right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
We welcome you to North Shore Marine. We support a large parts and accessories for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, and Suzuki. And we also have parts for your boat, not only just the motor. So you can come in and get pretty much everything you need and be on your way. So you name it, we got it. We sell Sea Arc aluminum boats. A wide variety we try to keep in stock so we can accommodate just about anybody. We service Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, and Suzuki. We have a master technician in our staff, and he's highly accredited. Well, of course, we're a family-oriented business. We try to keep it on that level. We're concerned for the well-being of our customers. Come visit us at North Shore Marine.
And back here at Deer Park, I'm Brett Dolan. Great to have you with us on the Legacy Sports Network. David Godek at the Deer Park Deer joins us, one of the senior, is playing his last game today, and a man who also sang the national anthem. Have you done that before?
Yes, I have.
Well, you did a pretty good job today. Were you more nervous singing or getting out on the basketball court?
Singing, definitely.
I don't doubt that at all. Well, I know this was a tough season for you guys. A lot of seniors were honored before the game, and I'm sure you got a lot of memories with your teammates.
Yes, sir, I do. I don't know what to really say, except like our attitude hasn't changed. We haven't put our heads down. We've been working hard. I love my teammates. It's been a fun year.
Seems like Coach Means is a good individual to keep the motivation going.
Yes,
he seems like a very positive person.
Yes, he does. Every practice he makes us compete and gives us motivation every day.
David, appreciate the time and good luck to you.
Thank you.
David, that's David Godek again to the Deer Park Deer, and we're going to welcome in Jonathan Motley as well. The young man's going to occupy most of the screen, I have a feeling, here for North Shore. Congratulations on what has been a fantastic senior season, and now you get to look ahead to the playoffs.
Yes, sir. We're ready. Make this run to state, and I think we're going to do very, very well.
Now, you weren't able to play a lot in the fourth quarter. The game was pretty much in your favor, so it was a chance to sit and root on your teammates, and it looked like you had a pretty good time doing that.
Yes, sir. I love cheering them on. It's all family here. That's all it is.
Now, you're on your way to Baylor. Was that an easy decision for you?
Yes, sir. Kind of easy. Yes, sir. Had some decisions to make, but Baylor seemed like the right thing to do.
Well, we were talking about you tonight. You were impressive not only in the way you handled the ball, but you're a pretty good passer too. There were a couple of times, even though you were double teamed, you kind of towered over a few of the Deer Park players, but you were intent on getting your teammates involved.
Oh, yes, sir. I love getting involved. It makes the game fun. Everybody's involved. Everybody's happy.
So now what's the practice going to be like leading into the playoffs, and what are you going to do as a senior with some of these younger guys on this team to encourage them to give their best performance when these games really matter?
Well, we start working tomorrow. It's playoff time. We're ready to make this run. We're going to start working. It's boot camp. That's what Coach calls it.
You know, you guys had a tremendous regular season and only one loss in district play, but you're right now. This is what you played for now going forward.
Yes, sir, it is. We're excited. We're ready to take it.
It's been a fantastic season for you. I know the playoffs are going to be a lot of fun, and then on to Baylor, so congratulations and best wishes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's Jonathan Motley again in North Shore, and Coach Price and I will come back and wrap things up in just a moment. Here at Deer Park, it was a 73-18 victory for North Shore. I'm Brett Dolan with Joe Price. Again, thanks for tuning in, not only tonight, but throughout the course of our basketball season and football season here on the Legacy Sports Network and Comcast Sportsnet Houston. And Coach, we had a couple of entertaining games in recent weeks. This probably wasn't one of those, but North Shore was able to flex their muscle in the first half, really turn things on in the third quarter, and then play their reserves in the fourth.
Yeah, I think that was Coach Green's game plan to try to get his starters about a good 2.5, 3 quarters and play his reserve as much as possible in the fourth quarter. You know, it's one of those type of games where you want to get it over with and not get anybody hurt and try to get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't blame them. It was a 2-point first half for Deer Park. They did not have a field goal in the first half. They got a couple of quick ones from Holbrook there in the third quarter. It wasn't much fun, I'm sure, for them to go up against North Shore here on Senior Day. You always like to have that one last performance. But Coach Means, I'm sure, will find a way to get back. And meanwhile, then North Shore will look towards the playoffs and what they can accomplish.
Well, that's true. You know, it's been 12 years since Deer Park didn't make the playoffs. And knowing Coach Mings, you know, he probably was here during that span when they didn't make it. He'll get it back going.
Coach, it's been a pleasure working with you, and we'll look forward to some fun playoff games.
Looking forward to it.
So our final again today here from Deer Park, it was a 73-18 win for North Shore as they will advance just one loss in district play, and the Deer Park Deer will finish off their campaign. So for our entire Legacy Sportsnet crew and Joe Price, I'm Brett Dolan saying good night from Deer Park High School. So long, everyone.